Hey guys, we're here with Zach. Hello, Zach.
Hello.
And we're here to talk about the app Shotlister. So you made the app, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not necessarily doing the coding, but it was my idea, and I kind of designed it, and I've worked with people to build it.
That's cool. So like, what is the Shotlister app like to break it down like for the app?
Yeah, I mean, the main thing that it does is it creates. It's not only the best app for creating a shot list. Thing existed before to do that, but it also allows you to create a schedule on a shot by shot and minute by minute basis. So in the past, you had to kind of rely on a one liner, which is basically just the scenes you're going to do that day, and roughly estimate, okay, it's going to take 3 hours to do that scene and 2 hours to do this scene. And this kind of takes the shot list and applies the same kind of idea to it. So now you estimate this shot's going to take 20 minutes, and turning around is going to take 45 minutes, and shooting this is going to take an hour. And so it gets you a schedule on a shot by shot basis, which really helps when you're shooting because the app knows what time it is and it knows how much time you thought everything was going to take. So it allows you to visualize the work while you're shooting, and it tells you how you're doing while you're going. So you can adjust on the fly and share all that information with the crew. So it basically gives you a tool to kind of plan your shoot, and then while you're shooting, it gives you a tool to know how you're doing, which is pretty powerful.
Like, so can you tell us a little bit about yourself? 'Cause I know you're a filmmaker, right?
Yeah. I'm a director, writer, and so I grew up in Vancouver in Canada and made a bunch of shorts there, and have transitioned into making movies, and just recently did a few seasons of TV. Um, and Now I'm working back in movies, so just kind of making movies and TV shows and that type of stuff.
Oh, cool. So, mm, so can you give us like the idea about how you like what your thought process of making the app like what came up?
Yeah. The I was making my first movie, which was a sci-fi monster movie, and I had always kind of shortlisted my short films, but had never had to shortlist a feature, which I quickly realized that there was no real standard way of doing that, that people were just kind of relying on using Excel or spreadsheets or something. But on a film, you can have like 1,500 shots. So using a spreadsheet isn't very useful. Plus, then you end up just printing it out on a piece of paper and scribbling all over it while you're shooting as the plan is changing. Like a piece of paper is terrible when the plan changes. Um, so I just figured there had to be a better way of doing it, and I built kind of a prototype of it in this program called FileMaker, which is kind of like a fancy version of Excel. Um, and when I was using it on that first film, everyone who saw what I had built was like, "Wow, that's amazing! I'm surprised that doesn't exist." And so um, I ended up kind of being like, "Oh, maybe we should build this." And so we did.
Yeah, honestly, like I can't wait to use it for my upcoming films, that kind of stuff. I gave it a little bit of try, and honestly, it's awesome. Like I'm really impressed with the app, what it can do, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's built by a group of filmmakers, and we use it while we improve it based on being out in the field using it. So a lot of what's there is very useful because it's things that we need. Most of the app is basic. The fact that everyone else can use it is a bonus. I mostly built it so I could have it because I don't know how I could film without it. And we get emails all the time from around the world of people saying, once I started using this, I don't understand how I made movies before, because it's kind of, you end up having a clarity of kind of what you need to do and when you need to do it, that before was just kind of in the air and was kind of scary. You were just kind of racing through the day, sort of making decisions based on how you thought you might be doing. But there's this power that comes from, say, say the beginning of your day, you're spending a lot more time on something
Yeah.
than you thought. It's taking an hour to do a shot you thought would take 20 minutes. Um, that might be important to do that. Maybe that shot is really important, and that's why it's at the beginning of the day. But now you're 45 minutes behind. Well, you can look into the future on your app and look at the shots at the end of the day and go, oh, well, it's not a big deal. I'll just combine these two shots into one shot, or this shot we can do tomorrow. And suddenly you're back on time. And so even though you had thought you were going to be ahead of where you are now, you know that it's okay to invest in this important moment because you've made decisions already for the end of the day. And you can share that with everyone so they can relax. And so it allows you to kind of concentrate on what matters most.
So how can people like find the app? Like,
Yep, we have it on the iOS App Store as well as the Android Store and the Mac OS Store. And so pretty much if you're on iOS, Mac OS, or Android, you can get a copy of the app.
and then like, is there any like future of the app like you want to talk about, like little plans that you have coming?
Yeah, I mean, most of what we've been doing the last little while is building the Mac OS version. That's pretty new. And we're about to release a big update for that. People really loved having the iOS app and the Android app because it allowed them to use it on set, but they really wanted the Mac OS version so they could build the shot list on their computer, because that's a lot of data entry to do on your iPad or whatever. So the Mac OS version has been pretty successful, and people are really loving that. And most of our efforts in the last year have gone into just making the Mac OS version better.
Yeah. So on set, like for our film set, like who normally does like the shot list app, like to plan all the shots?
Yeah, I mean, in my experience, usually the director builds the shot list, and then it's kind of up to the director or the first AD who's kind of in control of it while you're filming. That really depends on the style of director. Some directors want to be very involved in the schedule, and some directors don't. I tend to be the one who's very involved in the schedule, so
Yeah.
I tend to be the one manning Shotlister and sharing it with everyone. But it can be collaborative. You just want to, check in with whoever's controlling it and make sure, that everyone's deciding on what you're going to change or move.
So like, what is like Shotlister Pro, basically?
Yeah, Shotlister Pro is a subscription. So if you buy the app, you get the app and all the updates of the app for the rest of. You basically buy it once, and that comes with about 90% of the features. So you can build a shot list, schedule a shot list, do a shoot day. You can basically do everything you would need to do to shoot. And then Shotlister Pro basically has a bunch of kind of professional features that you get if you subscribe. So things like being able to sync with the whole crew, importing scripts and automatically breaking them down. Storyboards is a big one. And the reason we have a subscription is just that subscription is really what allows us to stay afloat.
Yeah.
And also maintain the back end and all the servers and everything. And it's pretty cheap. It's only like $14 a year, so it's not. It's like a few bucks a month. And you can cancel it at any time. And then it allows you to also sync files between your Mac OS and iOS. So it's basically just makes it easier for people that are doing more kind of intensive type shoots.
Yeah. So you designed the whole app, right? It was.
Yeah.
And then did anyone help you, or like did you just did it yourself?
Yeah, I used a lot. I had a lot of background in tech, and I basically kind of drew out everything. The programmers I used didn't know anything about the film industry, so I kind of used just the different graphic tools I knew how to use, and kind of built designs of how it should all work. And when you click on this, it goes over here and looks like this. And work with the coders to kind of make that happen. And that's been interesting. It's been pretty similar to directing in a lot of ways. You're still sharing a vision and sharing visuals and managing a team and staying on budget. And so a lot of the same skills of directing apply to making an app.
Yeah, so I saw like on your website and like your YouTube channel, you have some tutorials, right, for the app, right?
Yeah, so there's, the app is fairly complex, has a lot of options and stuff. So there's some tutorials on YouTube of how to set up a basic shot list and schedule and stuff.
Yeah. So I'd like to say thank you for your time. It was a pleasure speaking with you. Make sure you guys download the app and follow Zach on social media. Then check out his website also. Hey, thanks so much, man.
For sure. Thank you.